All right. Greetings. In the name of Yahweh. In the name of Thought of Yahshua Messiah, direction of the Holy Spirit. Hey, you know, y'all know when I don't be on here, man, I be working on things. So I try to keep content out there for you. I know everybody's pretty much uh, concentrating on, you know, basically trying to make money off of TikTok, but I have other things that I'm working on that are a little bit more uh, detailed, should I say, to where I haven't been able to really overlap on this app like I need to. But nonetheless, I'm here tonight. I'm glad for all of y'all chiming in, drop some content. This particular video tonight is going to reference another video. I don't feel like stitching, but it was a video about people's true age. And Big Boy Legba, another content creator, he dropped this video. And it was a pretty good video. However, I had basically reached out to him and said that I had some backup topics that I was going to bring up to speed, and he just so happened was talking about it. So I felt like, hey, on my return, this will be one of the first videos I get out. All right, age. What I'm going to do is I am going to speak from the angle of Magi astrology, something that I've already been in, and anybody that has actually taken Magi astrology courses know how detailed, how good, how accurate, but how detailed astrology from a Magi point of view can be. And it was something that really came easy to me because, as I've said before, I am a Virgo, and we are in Virgo season. And in the tarot, Virgo is represented by, I pause for a reason, the Magician card. Okay, the Magician card and the Hermit. The Magician card actually is the planetary aspect of Virgo, which is Mercury, planet of communication. I'm on the air. And the other one, the sun sign, which is Virgo, which is represented as Hermit, which is typically what I am. Something I enjoy quite a bit. I'll say that. There's nothing uncomfortable about staying to myself. But let's begin. All right. Your age. You actually have one default age. All right. And then you have what they call a natural age. And if you give me a minute, I'm going to break it down, because I'm going to try to keep this well within one video so that I can provide other content, on some of my following videos, and I don't have to return to this one. When you were first, and Big Boy Leg spoke about it, in dog water, when your eggs inside of your father's scrotum. But I'm moving on a little bit further from there. Life starts, all right, your what they call natural birth chart starts when, after your parents, all right, have came together, they have conceived you through their sexual entertainment. A lot of times women don't know this until they actually go and regurgitate some days later. Well, that regurgitation time is the moment that the body, all right, the nervous system within the body acknowledges that there is an egg that has entered into the woman's uterus for incubation. All right. Well, when that happens, when a woman goes and regurgitates, because now she has her one stomach is feeding two bodies, so there is what they call a double heartbeat. They usually find this when they go and get their sonograms and everything else to find out for true, yeah, they're pregnant, and there is two heartbeats. The fact that there's two heartbeats, even though you actually might be this small, the moment within, I could use my Magi experience to calculate this, but I'm trying to keep this in layman terms. If she was around somebody that made her aware, or if she learned firsthand that the moment that she went and regurgitated whatever was in her stomach, that was her body acknowledging that there was another heartbeat. If she could record that time, all right, when she could record that time and the location that she was at, that becomes your natural birth. Now, let me jump on to the next one. Your default birth is the end of your incubation period. And if you just want to scratch the surface, hey, I don't mind somebody looking for resources or looking for something to back up something they've heard me say on here. By nature, every woman's incubation period is supposed to be 10 months. Psychological programming has taught every woman to look for the exit of her fetus into actually being born and exiting her womb within 9 months. All right, that's her program in her nervous system. Well, full incubation is actually 10 months. And anybody that is a nurse or a doctor or anybody that deals with labor rooms can tell you that the full tenure of a woman's pregnancy is 10 months, but a lot of times you have women that have preemies. So that means if you were born in 9 months, you're really a preemie. I mean, hey, like I say, we can go off into the facts a little bit if we need to get off to the archives, y'all. Next, when you're born and you're not breathing inside of the liquid that was inside of the woman's fetus, the minute that you come out, the aggravating factor that doctors have to, the method they have to use is they have to turn the child around if the child isn't already crying, and take the afterbirth out of the kid's mouth and, yes, pop the child or pinch the child on its behind to hear the child yell. At that moment, the first time after that child screams, that redaction of breath, that Ruach HaKodesh that comes into the child, molecular structure, actually those molecules of that air come in and they set, all right, and they bridge throughout that child's molecular structure, all right. That is when the time goes on the birth certificate. So that becomes your sun sign, your default birth time, all right. After your default birth time, then you understand, which is, I like the way Big Boy Legba had brought it up, that becomes your default birth. But if you take your default birth and add the 9 or 10 or so months that you were in incubation, then that means you were living a full year prior to you coming out of incubation. It didn't mean you weren't alive. It means you were alive, but you were in incubation. So your default birthday is the birthday after you cut the umbilical cord and you started to breathe on your own. That's your default birthday. Your real birthday is the minute your mother actually went and spewed her guts out because she just found out she was pregnant. That time, which is so delicate and a lot of times it's almost impossible to find, that becomes the moment of your astrological journey on this earth. I hope y'all like, share, comment, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Shalom.